we're recording.
Well, thank you so much, Carol. And for those of you who may be new, my name is Cheryl Cortezi, and National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company. I've actually been here for 33 years, and the adventure only gets better all the time. Looking forward to the next 33. And again, just so love the stories because it is the foundation of who we are and what we're about. I think it just energizes, it empowers, it brings me such happiness to see people have such good results. And we've been seeing that now for 28 years, a little over 28 years with the Juice Plus product. And just a huge blessing, not only for myself, but the people I love, those I come across every day, and for all of you, and also for the people that you love and that you come across every day. And of course, we meet like this every Thursday night to share stories, which again, as I said, is the foundation of our business. And those stories we talked about last week in our training is that it's all about the story. And the story truly is not only about you, it's really more about that person that's going to hear it and it will change their life. So the story is there for the people that you're going to share it with, and how empowering that can be as people respond. Over the years, over 33 years now, this business has grown and grown. It was something that I started, it was going to be very part-time. I was financially desperate at the time, and it hopefully was going to help me as a single parent, suddenly single, send my children to college and help us just stay above struggle. And then I just, as so many people say, I fell in love with the whole thing, the products, the company, the marketing model, the people, and it became a full-time career, and just has been and continues to be a huge joy. In doing this every day, though, we've really put together a wonderful, amazing community of people, and people that support each other in so many ways and help each other. And one of my top national marketing directors, and many of you know her, has agreed to share with us tonight some thoughts of her own on the story, how important it is, how to craft that story. We talked about that last week as well, so we can kind of look at this as the story series, okay, between last week, this week, and going forward. Because again, if there's nothing else that you do but tell the product story and the business story, you can walk right up into National Marketing Director and beyond and really facilitate major powerful business. So now I'm going to introduce you to Chris Drobes, and she is going to tell you a bit about herself. I'll tell you a little bit about herself. Here, let me see if I can help to mute that. Okay, hopefully everybody is muted now, so that helps a little. So I'm going to introduce you to Chris. Chris has actually just celebrated not long ago her 20th year with Juice Plus Company. She is one of our top national marketing directors, as I said, reaching 100 Club, which is top recognition in her first 5 years, which is, again, a huge feat. And she's trained and traveled all over the world for this company. Has a huge organization, and is the only person, I think, within our company that we refer to as a Triple Crown winner, because she's the only person who received the 12 Club, 24 Club, and 39 Club award, which are top productions for the year that they're given. So Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you. She's going to talk about crafting your story, recreating your story. So Chris, are you there?
I am. Thanks. Can everybody hear me? I think I'm unmuted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be on here. What I will share tonight is going to be a little bit different version. We wanted to hear those expanded stories with all of the details tonight. That was the purpose of this call. As Cheryl said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been blessed to be frontline to Cheryl. So we have had just kind of a real run at it, and a lot of fun along the way as well. Before I started my Juice Plus journey, I owned a gourmet cookie business. So when I was introduced to Juice Plus, I guess you have to say I suppress people's immune systems for a living. And I wondered initially how I would be successful in this because that was my background. However, I will say that to cut really to the chase, because I want to share the details and components of this with you tonight, is I caught a vision and I anchored a belief for both the product and the business early on. When I stepped into this, I expected success because I had observed many people that already attained it, and I was willing to put the time, effort, and energy into it. And I have built what I refer to as a living legacy. It was my desire to build something I could appreciate while being present and accounted for, so to speak, something that would fill me with joy and purpose each and every day. And that business has been the Juice Plus business, and it fit perfectly. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is crafting and recrafting, or maybe even redefining your story. Doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. Sometimes we can tweak most things in life and get just a little bit better, or be a little bit more aware about maybe what we should say and maybe what we should kind of keep. I talk about keeping some things in your back pocket until it's appropriate to bring it up. So I'm going to share what I say to people that I meet a little bit later on. So I'll save my story for just a few minutes from now. But as Juice Plus partners or business owners, we are storytellers and teachers. You know, there are two stories we have really to share with the world: a product story and a business story. And not just once in a while, but every time you share Juice Plus, I always like to think of, well, just about any time I'm having a conversation, if they're not on Juice Plus, I'm going to bring it up to them because everybody deserves to hear it. But you want people to know that you're a business owner and a builder of people, not a salesperson or a retailer, or even worse, a peddler. I've heard some people refer to that. So during our time, I'm going to talk about the baseline structure and the simplicity of both stories, and the reasoning behind keeping them simple. Very often people make them very complicated, make them very complex, as they do with a lot of components in this business. And that's one of the most detrimental things we can do for ourselves, and as we attract people and then help grow them into leaders as well. So as we begin, an element that's vital and is very often and easily overlooked is you've got to give yourself permission to be in business. And the importance of everyone in your life knowing that you're in business. So if I look at if you look at everybody you know, the first thing, ask yourself this: does everybody that you know, every single person that you know in every area of your life, know that you're in business? If I were a betting woman, I'd put my money on the fact that the honest answer to that is no. There's someone that you have prejudged or predetermined, wouldn't be interested in Juice Plus, wouldn't be interested in your business, and you have chosen for them. So no big deal. It's just what's what. So here's the reality: people will be far more attracted to your product, your business, and you if your story is relatable, relevant, simple, not disease specific, so they can see the benefit for themselves and their family. Now, it's human nature to have in the back of our minds, what's in it for me, right? It's not a bad thing, it's just reality. So our story needs to be, I call it the 2 G's. It needs to be generic and general. It needs to be generic and general enough for others to see the value for their own health, while painting enough of a vision to attract them and create curiosity about the business. All at the same time. Don't be spending 6 months to build a relationship. Let people know that you're a business builder and a builder of people. So to make our story most attractive and powerful that it can be, I'm going to answer some questions that in a minute, but I want you to consider leaving out all the disease specific details, not forever, but for conversation with your prospect after they show interest, not during the story. Why do I say that? Let's use the example of Crohn's disease. If someone does not have Crohn's, does not have someone in their family, or doesn't know someone that suffers with it, many people don't even know what the heck it is. But we know it's a serious disease. But if they don't have it, they will often just conclude Juice Plus is not for them. They don't have that. So use the extraneous details, your dialogue, so to speak, for the dialogue, rather, for conversation. Your story is a monologue, and that should be no longer than 60 to 70 seconds. So After sharing your story, the outcome is to transition the connection from a monologue to a dialogue, right? To a conversation, asking questions about the other person and showing interest in them. Now, raise your hand if you know how to have a conversation with somebody. Hello, we all know how to converse. Thus, you know how to do this business. It's no more complicated than that. So let's begin with the product story. And you can write this down, or do a redo, listen to the recording, whatever, because we're not going to take time for everybody to write it. But the first question is, what attracted you to Juice Plus? What attracted you to Juice Plus, to the concept, to whatever? Then why did you make a decision to add it to your diet? And why will you continue consuming it? People need to know that this is a simple solution, but the body needs whole food nutrition as long as we live, not just short term. So we don't want people to think, oh, take this for 3 months and you'll be able to, leap tall buildings in a single bound and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So think about that. The answers are simple, and you may, when I share my story, you may pick up a pointer or two. And I encourage you to own it as your own story if it resonates with you. There are not that many variables in our story. This is fruits and vegetables. And by the way, no matter how we often complicate it, it will never turn into brain surgery or rocket science. And you want people to know the simplicity. You want them to know that they could do this. They could join you in this. There's a short learning curve. There's not a steep learning curve whatsoever. So let's look at the business story. What attracted you to the business? Now, I'm going to stop you if you're even thinking about it. Not what you love about Juice Plus. They already know you love Juice Plus, right? You're a business owner. You own a Juice Plus business. So that's not what you want to repeat. That's what you tell in your product story. Then why did you become a business partner or an owner, Juice Plus business owner? And most importantly, what is your vision for your business? Paint a strong, powerful vision and future that others will be able to connect to. So now I'm going to tell you my story. I share with people that, and this varies a little bit, it might not be able to get or want to get it all in until I can stop and ask a question. But I'm also going to share with you what I say when people ask me what Juice Plus is. And the answer is not fruits and vegetables in a capsule or chewable form. So I share with people I was attracted to Juice Plus because there was no way I could get the nutritional essence of 9 to 13 servings of a variety of raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables into my diet or my family's diet on any day, forget every day. And in 20 years, honestly, I've never met anybody that can do it. Absolutely cannot do it if they're honest with themselves. So Juice Plus was a solution. It bridged the gap between what we did eat and what we should be eating. We added it to our diets because the research is just unparalleled, proving that the whole food nutrition in Juice Plus really reaches the body at a cellular level, like food, because it is food. And I cannot imagine being a day without Juice Plus. Everyone has a family health history, and I don't want to sign up for mine any more than the next person does. But someone cared enough about me to not only share Juice Plus, but to let me know there was a business associated with it that I could easily do, and it would make a difference for others. I wasn't going to keep either the product or a business a secret. So for me, the business made sense, because it doesn't matter who we are or what we do. We all trade hours for dollars. And in this business model, there is no ceiling on the income. So I decided to become a Juice Plus rep because it was simple to share with others why it made sense to me. And by doing so, and there was no limit, again, to the number of people that I could help, that I could bring in my business. Now, my vision for my business, this business, was to own my life, to build a business that provided financial and time freedom options while bringing others along with me. And it's provided myself and my family, a lifestyle and quality of life that I only once dreamed about. So then that's pretty much it. Then what I do is, in my back pocket, so to speak, I have a lot of little one-liners or thought starters or questions, depending on who I'm speaking with. For instance, I don't share this in my story, but as I'm talking to people, and if, say, they have children and they're thinking about, well, those children will one day grow up, say they've got three stair steps, 11, 15, and 17. So I'll talk and mention that one thing we were able to do is we've been able to travel the world with our children. Both of my children attended 6 years of university. They got out with 0 student loan. I have no boss, no employees, no stress, and I live without fear of the future. And when someone asks a question, okay, now let me back up. Did I say what Juice Plus was? They don't even know it's fruits and vegetables yet, right? They don't know. They don't know. So often when someone asks me the question, I mean, they do. Most people know what I do, but when I meet a new person, they don't know what I do. So they'll ask me, what is Juice Plus? Or they ask me what I do. My response is either in the form of a question or a statement. So here's what I say. If they ask me what Juice Plus is, I say, if there was something you could take that was scientifically proven to help prevent disease and illness and slow the aging process, would you want to know what that was? And the response and they always say yes. Why do they say yes? Because they don't want to look like a moron. In this day and age, if you don't want to know something that will help prevent disease and illness, slow the aging process, I don't know what rock you're living under. But they say, yeah, of course. And they've already asked you a question. So I simply say, may I ask you a question before I answer? Now, if the response or statement is, what do I do? I say, I help people secure their financial future with supplemental or full-time income, help them prevent disease and illness, and slow the aging process. I can promise this breaks the ice every time, any variable of this, without going into the research and all of that. All of that stuff, I've got a research card in my back pocket, right? It's in the form of a link. I can send it to anybody in a nanosecond. So I don't need to know what it is, and I don't want to look like the expert. Now, 20 years in this business and having such a huge organization, I do know a thing or two about this, but I don't let people know that straight away. I want them to know that they too could do this. Now, because it makes them feel right away, they listen differently because what have they heard? Oh, what's in this for me, you know? So now when you've done this, take what you've done, combine what you've written about your product and your business story, and allow the words to flow comfortably and deliver them with confidence. The confidence you already have in the belief in Juice Plus, or you wouldn't be on the Zoom call. Also the passion and desire, I hope that you have for doing good for others. I also feel, like was stated, maybe more than once, that this is a mission for me as well. And you cannot do this incorrectly, folks. Nobody knows what you're going to say, so you can't muck it up. There's no reason to be uncomfortable. There just is not. You know, allow that connection between your head and your heart to happen ASAP. Don't wait for it. If you do this, people will respond. You'll not only attract customers, but team members, and that's the name of the game. We have what people are looking for. This is a moment in time where people are falling into a victimhood mentality, and leadership is the opposite of victimhood. Okay, so helping people now, in my estimation, is more important than any of the 20 years that I've been here, without question, absolute without question. Now, as most of you know, the Juice Plus company, we just concluded our 50th year, and it was the most successful financial year in all the 50 years. Now, first of all, how many companies have even been around a fraction of that time? And how many can say that it accomplished this past year by being a welcome solution to what people are struggling with from a prevention standpoint, health standpoint, financial standpoint, and a whole boatload of fear-based emotions? Let's go with very few, if any. So really, good gracious, has there ever been, there has never been really, a clearer path for a successful business and the ability to do good things for others. All of humanity needs us and deserves to know what we have to offer. It's been a game changer. This year has been a game changer in many, many ways, many of them negative. Guess what, folks? We are under a positive cloud with a positive light shining upon us. I always say that what we bring to market is hope, and we are like a loud lighthouse out in the middle of a very stormy harbor, and that light at the top, we are that light that people are looking for. So throw people a life raft. We know, those of us on the line, that this is not a solo business, and you can't lead much of a mission or a ministry without a team, right? You're not making much of a difference. Simply put, the bigger the team, the bigger the mission. So decide to build it big, make it a serious, solid, measurable difference in the world. Oh my gosh, you're going to love who you become. And have fun. This business, I've been in the business world for more than a few years and done this for 20. I have never had so much fun. Well, also making so much money in my whole life, but I've never had this much fun. It is really the most rewarding, emotionally rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, aside from celebrating. April will be 39 years married to the same man. So I also wear a purple heart. No, I'm teasing. And having two incredibly successful adult children, they're, what am I trying to say? They make all their own money, and then they're off my payroll.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah, self-sufficient. Thanks. Thank you, Mia. And you will grow personally while empowering and celebrating others. So the emotional return on your investment, I always feel it's kind of like that Visa. I think it's a Visa commercial. It's priceless. You can't put a price on it. And the financial rewards, this is a place where you're paid what you're worth. You're paid for the value you bring to the world, to the marketplace. That's great. And you get to choose whatever that is, whatever it is. So, but as I said before, you'll truly love who you become, and you'll be creating an amazing life for yourself and others. So that's pretty much the crux of it. Those 6 questions I want you to encourage, go back to ask yourself. And I believe these questions are, these are the same questions Cheryl gave me 20 years ago, but I do believe they're in the Freedom Revolution. If not, it's just common sense. What attracts you to Juice Plus? Why'd you add it to your diet? And why will you continue taking it? What attracted you to the business? Why'd you sign an application or a virtual application, ink in the sky? And what is your vision for the business? The vision is the most important thing in the business story, because it will allow people to step into this. And so, and remember, people don't buy Juice Plus. They buy your belief in Juice Plus. People come into this business because you have painted a doable possibility for their future. So, Cheryl, and
Very good. Thank you so much. And yes, those 6 questions have been with us for the last at least 30 years, I believe, for sure. So they've been foundational, and you can find them, I think, on the Freedom Revolution, but it's pretty much the questions last week. But I think what was so important to hear tonight is you listen to how Chris shares her story, and the questions, the one-liners, is first of all, what she creates is, you might say, I was thinking of it as kind of an entry into the potential that's available. So she gives just enough information, but it's good, solid, general information, so the person can feel potential for themselves. And then when she begins to ask the questions, they give her direction as to how she's going to use the conversation and what direction the conversation is going to go in. So, you know, it's been proven that people respond to potential, and they have to be able to see it for themselves. And that's a wonderful way to create a picture that's large enough, generic enough, and then begin to close it down into something that's specific for that person. I've often said, once you've heard enough, then you can wrap what we have around that person's desires and wants. So again, story is foundational. I agree with Chris, we are in a time that, you know, it's magical in the way that we really have what is most relevant today and what people need. Everyone, as we've said before, they wake up every day wanting to do the very best they can to make sure they protect their bodies, their families' bodies, you know, increase immune function, stay healthy. And then, of course, just the need for additional income today will become a wonderful support system for people in all of this chaos that's going on. So, you know, I've really felt like as a company, we've been blessed. Certainly, if we look back on 50 years, it seems like whatever happens, we're just in the right place at the right time to make the difference for others. So for this call, again, I thank Chris for joining us. I thank Susan Wittenbach for bringing her team and their great stories. And so the story is the thing. Okay, Rich, remember that. If you've got your story, if you've got it down, and then have the courage to share it with everybody you come across, there's no limit. This is a limitless business. There is no limit to what it can be and grow and become over time. I know if I look at Susan, there is one of our top national marketing directors, Chris, many years. Susan, how long has it been for you? No, nearly 30. What? She's trying to get, I know Chris is 20, Susan is
26 for me.
26, okay? So, you know, people come and they stay for a reason. And it's not all just income. Income is definitely here for consistent effort, but definitely the community, the support for one another, the realization that you can be part of something larger than yourself.
Cheryl, it's a quality of life, and I can't imagine life without it.
Yeah, right. I think we all feel that way. And so just a blessing to work with each and every one of you. And again, thank you for the stories tonight. And thank you, Chris, for your input with us this evening. Always our speakers come to us just out of the generosity of their time. And so we want to really be able to come together to share with everyone and meet us here again next week. Okay. Thank you, Carol.
Everybody.
Thanks, Cheryl, and thank you, Carol, for putting this together.
Oh, you're welcome.
Take
Good night,
care,
everyone.
Not everybody. Thanks for your time, Chris.
No,
Cheryl.
Yeah,
Good night, guys.
thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye. Good night, Lachlan.
Bye.
Bye.